Hey, what is going on, Bulls and Bears YouTube family? It is Monday, January 31st, 2022, the last day of the month of January. Hope everyone had a good month. We've got so much to talk about today economically, financial news, markets, infrastructure. Let's start right there. A nation with $30 trillion in debt, more than that if you look at the actual, all the other debt that's involved in it with consumer debt, etc. We've talked about that a ton of times. But a nation with 30 trillion in debt can't even keep our bridges from collapsing. Look what happened in Pittsburgh. We're going to talk about the markets after this, but real quick. So now you know what's going to happen. They're going to say we need more money, we need more funding. And sure, some of it will go to roads and bridges, but you know where a lot of it, I would guess to say most of it is going to go. It's going to go into the hands of people that really should not get the money. If debt and spending fixed our infrastructure, you would not see any problems like we see with these bridges. We saw one in, I believe, Wisconsin or Minnesota, rather, a few years ago collapse. We see cities like over in Michigan, Flint, Michigan, where the entire water system needs to be redone because it's contaminated. And sure, some of this goes down to the city and local and state levels. But just look at the big picture, a nation of $30 trillion in debt. All of this spending, all of this foreign intervention, foreign policy, sending rockets into space, CEOs flying into space, and we have bridges that are collapsing here in the U.S. And to me, that's a microcosm, or it's symbolic of what's happening here all together, all around with the country. It's a collapsing country. We're collapsing socially, financially, health-wise, we're collapsing. We have an obesity problem. We have more than half of the population on some sort of prescription or medication. I'm almost afraid for some of the younger people that are going to be growing up in this country. So you're going to end up paying more and more and more as things, including the roads and bridges, continue to get worse as far as I can see. Let's talk about this. So homeless encampments are going to be cleared out. This is out of CBS. And what they'll do is they'll come and sweep away these tents or pick them up and throw them away. I don't think they actually relocate these people, and they're not nice enough to put their tents back up in a new location, put it that way. But here's one of the quotes that was put out there with the situation of just sweeping these homeless camps away when any big event comes to town, in this case the Super Bowl in Los Angeles. Quote, "This is the same strategy politicians use anytime a major event comes to, whether it's for the Super Bowl or the Oscars or the Olympics. They use cops and criminalization to sweep away the evidence of their failure to address Los Angeles affordable housing." And yes, all this can be changed at the stroke of a pen, change a few policies, and you would start to see affordable housing. All the different ways we've talked about here in this channel are easily able to be implemented. And the people that are running things, the quote-unquote leaders, they could fix these things at any time they want to. You've got bigger problems as far as homeless people. You've got mental health issues. We see more homeless people getting aggressive and more attacks on people. There was some news stories, some pretty bad, shocking stories. One where a guy was going to cover up a homeless person, and the homeless person got up and basically attacked him. And all he was doing was putting like a blanket on him or something. Another one, I believe it was New York, where someone got pushed. A homeless person pushed someone in front of a train. I believe it was a subway. But we've been documenting it here for years, how homelessness is increasing. The mental state of a lot of these homeless people is getting worse and worse. It appears to be the addiction problems, whatever it is they're on, is continuing to get worse. And bottom line is, it's getting more dangerous out there. So I try to urge everyone every now and then, to be aware of your surroundings, be cautious. Carjackings going up, crimes going up, even in cities like Beverly Hills. More home invasions, break-ins, robberies, etc. There was another story where a homeless person went into this furniture store and ended the life of a person that works there, a young girl. Just crazy people, crime going up. And it's overall societal decay, and I think a lot of it has to go back to the financial system and the economy. Of course, it's much broader than that, but that's kind of the backbone of a lot of things that we see right now happening. Let's talk about car prices. Recent article here, out of control. Buyers paying thousands over sticker price cars. And we told you this here starting over a year ago when the supply chain issues started coming up, that this was not going to be resolved because the lack of manufacturing here in the US. And I'm actually really surprised that prices haven't went up even higher and faster. When these other countries know that we're dependent on them, especially Asian countries, they know we're dependent, they can just raise the prices as high as they want to. And what are we going to do about it? There's not many other alternatives. We're not opening up a bunch of new factories here in the U.S., or I should say we're in the process of opening them up, but it's not a fast process. It takes years and years and years in many cases. But it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be a challenge to get companies to come here because they know they're going to have to pay higher wages. And with the skyrocketing cost of living, you're always going to see this demand for higher and higher wages. So it's going to be an uphill battle for anything to really improve here in this country if we continue with this inflationary environment and these bankers that want to see rising prices forever. And even the bankers that are talking about things changing and slowing of inflation, they're not talking about prices coming down. They're just talking about prices going up, but at a slower pace. So instead of correcting the prices that we have, instead of allowing prices to drop, now they're talking about just having prices continue to go up, only slower, right? How crazy is that? If you have an affordability problem, a homeless epidemic, debt levels at all-time highs, even higher than the 2008 financial crisis and the housing bubble, wouldn't you want to stop that? Wouldn't you want prices to come down? No, they're not talking about that. They're talking about just slowing the rate of prices rising. Let's talk about the markets today, Monday, January 31st. We see all indexes in the green. So are the money creators, are they taking a hands-off approach, or do we still see the plunge team with their hand in these markets? I think you know what the truth is. I think their hands are still in the markets. We see oil staying up over $88, gold, silver slightly in the green today. 10-year bonds staying up over 1.78. That's going to mean that mortgage rates are going to continue to have upward pressure, but no drastic rise in mortgage rates like many were predicting. So it's going to be very, very difficult for prices to adjust downward in any of the areas that we looked at. Housing, the stock market, the cost of automobiles, the cost of energy, oil, heating, and gas, car gas for your automobile, going to continue to go higher. Continue to brace, folks. This looks like it's not going to slow down, and the inflationary pressures continue to mount, and not much being done. Be careful driving over bridges because $30 trillion in debt apparently wasn't enough to fix our infrastructure. Hope everybody's well. Thanks for being here for this update. Be well, stay safe, stay prepared. Bye for now. Big love. Peace.